Greetings to all. Welcome to AWS Solution Architects training sessions. Srinivas here. So just before starting day 2 of demo session, it's a live session, but it is free to attend. That's the reason we are calling as a demo session. So just introduction, brief description about the batch details. This is a weekend batch and started yesterday, that is 17th May. And every weekend, that is Saturday and Sunday, there are 2 weekends, Saturday, Sunday, the sessions are going to conduct for 2 hours. It is going to start at 6 p.m. IST until 8 p.m. plus or minus 10 or 5 minutes. And the cost fee is 4,720 INR per dollar. It is going to showcase for other than India customers participants, it is going to showcase as a $57. The duration here it is mentioning 30 hours, but the thing is that this batch is going to complete within 6 weekends. 6 weekends in the sense total 12 sessions, Saturday, Sunday, every day, every Saturday and Sunday 2 hours. So total 12 sessions the batch is going to complete. That means nearly 24 hours the sessions are going to complete. The remaining hours, it is up to you how you are going to interact with me and ask the questions and ask the queries. If you want to again present the things, any configuration or anything, I am in a position to recap respective session. That's the reason it is going to be 30 hours. Otherwise, the batch is going to complete within 24 hours. That is means total 6 weekends, Saturday, Sunday including. And this is a second session. So first 2 sessions, without paying anything, you are in a position to attend. But the next session, that is a next Saturday session, that is weekend session, whoever completes the payment, they are in a position to get a separate Zoom link. Whoever registered through this particular Zoom link, they are able to join without making a payment. But next session onwards, that is Saturday onwards, you are going to get a separate Zoom link. Whoever completes the payment, they are going to get a separate Zoom link. So here, just log on to www.logiclabstech.com, wherein you can click on upcoming batches. Under upcoming batches, you can find the payment link. Just click on this payment link if you are happy with this training module for next Saturday. So whoever completes the payment for this particular 413 AWS Solution Architect, they are going to get a separate Zoom link. So please make sure complete the payment on or before next Saturday. And the sessions, what are the sessions yesterday and today's session also, it is getting recorded. Not only these 2 sessions, every session is going to get recorded. The live session will be recorded. And first 2 sessions are available on YouTube channel. You can log on to YouTube, wherein just type Logic Labs Technologies. You are in a position to get a complete list of videos. What Logic Labs Technology is doing, whatever the technology they are going to deliver, first 2 or 3 sessions will be uploaded to YouTube. So even if you are missing to join the live session, no problem. You are in a position to review that YouTube by just subscribe the YouTube channel, that is Logic Labs Technologies, so that you are going to get a notification whenever there is a new batch starts and a new technology starts. You are going to get a notification so that you can review that. Is it relevant to your skills or not? So please go to YouTube and subscribe. I'm going to showcase. Just type Logic Labs Technologies. Once you subscribe to this particular Logic Labs Technologies, you are in a position to get a complete list of videos. So whatever the technology they are delivering, Logic Labs technologies, you are going to get a notification. You can review so that you can understand what the training is it relevant or not. So you can coordinate with the support team. So whoever interested, who are going to continue this session, so they have to be part of WhatsApp community. So this is a WhatsApp community link, and you are going to get a messages on WhatsApp community. Please make sure you are part of WhatsApp community. Whoever continues this training from next session onwards, they must be part of this WhatsApp community, so that you are going to get a regular updates about this batch. Like if any sessions getting delay, you are going to get a notification message on the specific batch, specific WhatsApp community only. So please make sure whoever completes the payment, they have to be part of this WhatsApp community, batch number 413. As I stated earlier, all sessions are getting recorded. So once the record session is done, the recorded session as well as the note file and the PPT or any files which you are going to present during the live session, those will be uploaded to LMS Graphy portal. So the paid participants are going to get access for lifetime to this LMS Graphy portal, wherein you can play recorded sessions and you can download note files, PDF, presentation files, any files. Okay, but recorded video only can be playable, not option, no option to download. Okay. The support team is available. You can send any kind of query, support@logiclabstech.com. This is a mail ID. If you want to speak other than India also, these two numbers available on WhatsApp. So no worries, you can send a message or you can call on WhatsApp. During the admin team is available between Monday to Saturday between 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. IST. Please make sure you are reaching the admin team so they are able to assist you for any kind of queries. Okay. We are available on social media, Telegram, WhatsApp, and YouTube channel. Please subscribe to YouTube channel so that you are going to get all latest technologies. First 2 or 3 sessions will be uploaded to YouTube. As soon as the channel is uploaded, you are going to get a notification so that you can able to review the session. Any questions about this particular batch? I haven't started anything related to previous session or today's session. Just explained about the description of the batch. Any questions on the batch or payments or anything related to batch? So everyone allowed to speak up. I'm allowing everyone to unmute whenever if you want to speak up. If you are not able to unmute, then only raise the hand. Otherwise, no need to raise a hand. You are allowed to unmute and interrupt me at any point of time. Yeah. So just a moment. I'm allowing everyone to, if anyone wants to speak up, they can. Yes. Any questions? There is a message. Email ID and phone number is fine, but it's credit card mandatory. If someone have not own credit card. Okay. Okay, there is a question on the chat window. For yesterday, we asked everyone to register on Amazon Management Console to get a practice, right? So yes, the only option to register on AWS Management Console only credit card. Without credit card, you are not going to allow to register. As it is a free tier account, as it is not going to give you any billing. It is not going to authorize direct payment. You can use your parents or your friends credit card as per their willingness. Okay, but credit card is mandatory Even that credit card, some credit cards will be blocked with international transactions. So you need to make sure domestic or international transactions must be enabled before activating this payment for 2 rupees or $1 for other than India customers. Okay. Yes. Any other question? Okay. If you are not able to unmute, then only raise the hand. Otherwise, you are allowed to interrupt me at any point of time. No need to wait for me to stop and ask question. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Srinivas.
Yes, please.
Yeah, where should I inform after making the payment for course?
No need to inform. As soon as you are going to make the payment, you are going to get a separate Zoom links and course details and LMS graphic portal, how to access all those. Whatever the email ID you are going to use, on that email ID, you can check spam or junk folder for updated information. You are going to get, if you are after the payment, if you are not getting new Zoom links and LMS graphic portal access information, the simplest information is you can contact on these two numbers. You can send a mail. I already made a payment, and the payment reference number you can attach and send a mail to support@logiclabstech.com. If any queries, you can reach on these two numbers. Yeah, these two
Okay.
numbers
Yeah.
are enable WhatsApp also. You can send a message or you can coordinate. Yeah,
Okay. Got it.
thank you.
Sir, is any certification will be provided after end of this course?
Yes, Logic Labs is going to provide course completion certification. That is just a course completion. You can coordinate on the same email ID. Once the batch is completed, they are going to provide course completion certification.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Any other questions?
Hi, Srinivas. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Hi, Srinivas. I have got a question. Yesterday, I was not present to the class.
Okay, okay.
So, today is the first time I'm joining the class. My question is, by the end of all these classes, I mean,
Okay,
after 30 hours of these sessions, I mean,
okay.
this course, would I be able to write an exam for AWS Solution Architect?
Yes, definitely. We are going to provide in these sessions a dump. Okay, that dump you
Mm-hmm.
need to go through. Along with the dump, we are going to provide some tools wherein how to enhance your uh, experience on AWS Management Console. So the scenario based
Okay.
questions and all those things, and the practice. Once you practice whatever the session I'm going to present here, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
mention that from this particular topic, you are going to get 3 or 4 questions and how the scenarios will be. Everything I'm going to explain so that you have to be little concentrate. The scenarios and certain times are kind of tricky. You have to understand, you have to provide the right answer. Exam pattern is a multi choice. So you have to choose right answer. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Srinivas.
Yes, this course is designed for to attend certifications for cloud practitioner as well as solution architect associate. There is no mandatory to complete pre-requirements. You can in AWS certification path, there is no precedence certificate or pre-requirement certification to be completed. Whatever the experience, whatever the certificate you are looking for, you can go ahead directly for that respective certification. Don't waste the time. For technical people, you can practice and directly you can write the exam for solution architect associate. For sales and management cadre, they can write cloud practitioner is more than enough, so that they are going to get knowledge what are the services are available, how to use and all those things. Yeah.
One more last question. With this one course, would I be able to gain a job
Yes.
with this certification?
How about your current position? Are you
And
working
no,
anything?
I was working, but for the last 2 years, I'm not working.
Okay, previous experience,
So
please.
yeah, I have got nearly 10 years experience.
And which technology?
I I was working as a test lead.
Okay, very good. See here, whatever the technology you may work, okay, here in AWS cloud, you are going to get a different services. And for testing platform, you are going to go through the DevOps. Okay, this AWS solution architect associate is related to completely infrastructure, how to build and how to do actions in infrastructure related storage, network systems, and some services, monitoring, backup, and all those things related to complete infrastructure. Without infrastructure, you are not able to work on any application, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you are going to understand how the components related to each and everything. Then later you are in a position to understand how to use the services to respect to core for technology, whatever the job you are going to perform. Testers, developers, or infrastructure admins, whoever it may be, they can choose DevOps for different tools, or they can use infrastructure solution architect associate itself to manage their environment. Okay,
Okay.
this course is
Okay,
more than enough.
Srinivas.
This is a basic course, and it is a mandatory essential course to go with any specialization. Yeah.
So we'll get the recordings of this courses, is it?
Yes.
If I
Yes, you are going to get, once the payment is done, you are going to get access wherein these recorded sessions are available. You can play and watch from any device for lifetime. There is no
Okay.
restriction like these many times you can play and other things. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Srinivas.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. You can ask any questions at any point of time. Okay. Okay. Every day
Uh,
session is going to continue.
Srinivas,
Yes, please.
sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yesterday also I was not able to join the this session. So my question is with respect to the concepts of storage, files, database connectivity, working on the database concepts
Mm-hmm.
with respect to AWS cloud.
Okay.
So are you covering any of those concepts extensively or high level you are covering?
Not high level. We are going to do practicals on. There is a service called RDS, Relational Database Service, wherein Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, database components, how to deploy, how to work on backups, and whatever the backup database administrator is going to do, everything you are going to do on this AWS Management Console. We are going to showcase in live session how to implement and how to use, what are the things we need to cross verify. Okay, related to RDS, that is relational database service. Next,
Okay.
the storage. We are going to work, there are storage principles are there: file storage, block storage, and object storage. Each and every service we are going to implement and showcase, and you have to practice here. Complete infrastructure we are going to implement. There is no high level. We are going to get hands-on practice. For hands-on practice only, we have to register. There is a 12 months free tier account is available with AWS. No other cloud provider is providing this kind of facility. So with that 12 months free tier, everyone I am going to showcase in this recorded session, in this live session, I am going to implement. So you are in a position to play that video, pause and implement, practice, and then hands-on practice. The technology is required hands-on practice. Whoever not able to do hands-on practice, no need to continue in this class. No, don't waste your time and money. Okay. So the point is here, everyone is going to get hands-on practice. The hands-on practice only makes you perfect. Okay, you are going to explore different directions in this AWS Management Console. Everything you are in a position to implement on your own. Okay, you have to get a practice without referring the notes, without referring to the video. You should able to select the desired service. You should able to configure the respective component as per the customer requirement. Okay. Any
Okay.
questions? Yeah.
Yeah, one more point. How about file handling? And if he wants to use the latest services in the AWS like SageMaker I mean, AI and ML related. So are you covering high level at least how to touch base those services, or how is it?
Yes, yes, I'm going to showcase. Once you log into AWS Management Console, okay, the 12 months free tier access is available. For each and every service as a root user, you are able to access. You no need to go anywhere. You are going to get complete list of services. As part of this course module, I am going to cover that important related services related to solution architect associate. Once you have a knowledge, whatever the AI or ML or cybersecurity or any kind of specialization which is available in AWS, you are in a position to understand, navigate it easy. Okay, so no need to worry about that. This is the foundation. Without this AWS solution architect, no advanced skill you are able to understand. For every advanced AI or ML or DevOps, everything requires understanding this base foundation, what are the infrastructure services. Okay.
Thanks, Srinivas.
Yeah. Okay. Let me log into the console. You can ask any questions at any point of time. Don't wait for me to. If you are not able to unmute, not able to speak up, then only raise the hand. Okay. I am logging as a root user. Whatever the registration you are going to complete, with that you are able to log in root user. Once you complete the registration, you have to enable MFA, multi-factor authentication. Without MFA, you are not in a position to use your account. Okay. You have to enable multi-factor authentication by using Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. I'm entering the credentials. Just a moment. Okay. This is a management console, that AWS management console here, which you are going to get. Even customer portal also, you are going to get the same interface. Okay. You have to navigate, you have to understand what component, where to start, how to navigate. Okay. Practice only gives that ability. Okay. So please don't use during the practical sessions. Never ever use recently visited services. No, you should not select anything. And don't use search option. Okay, no. These two options strictly no for a learner. Okay, what we are going to do, we have to understand navigation in this particular home page. This is a 9 dots wherein it is available on the top left corner next to AWS. It is going to provide a complete list of services. Okay, categorization. Each and every category is going to have sub-component, sub-services. Each sub-service will be having a dashboard. So within the dashboard, what are the components we are going to select, we are going to do. This is the services which you need to select for every time. Whatever the time you are going to do some practical, you have to choose the category, not a search, not a recently visited. Okay, hope it is clear. Next, your account information. As soon as you log in, there are two options to check your cost information, your billing and cost management. On the top right corner, you will be able to see your account name. Whatever the registration time you mentioned, that account name will be visible. And here, account, organization, and billing and cost management. The billing and cost management you can click on. It is going to showcase the billing and cost management information for your account. Okay. The same billing and cost management, you are going to get by using these 9 dots at the top left corner. Click on that. There is a category called cloud financial management. Under cloud financial management, you will be able to see billing and cost management. Both are going to same. Okay. So you have to, this is a navigation, you have to practice every day. Okay, some services here and there they are going to modify, they are going to add new services, new components. So every day log into this portal, it is a free. You have to brush up. Simply listening without doing hands-on practice, simply listening is not going to work at any manner. Okay, so you have to navigate, you are going to get a complete list. Every session we are going to start with where we connected, what services we implemented. You can see here the note files, you are going to prepare a running notes. Check billing, any services costing impacted, regions connected, what region you connected, what date you connected, what services you are using, what actions you perform. You have to prepare a documentation. It is going to give you process knowledge, how to update, what action you are going to perform. You have to write it down and you have to note it down to be clear, and you have to do necessary actions at the end of the session. Okay, so every session we are going to start with the same, checking the billing. So first of all, I'm checking the billing. What is my billing? As I am part of free tier, is there any free tier utilization exceeded my utilization? You can see that my free tier in this particular billing and cost management, you can see that free tier, wherein what all the free tier services are available, what is the utilization. You can see that not even anyone is completed 1%. Out of 100, I did not use not even 1%. Okay, this particular utilization report for month. Okay, you can see here on billing and cost management home page, you are going to get a details of billing, month to date cost, the billing cycle, and every month you are going to get a bill. Okay, so here month to date, from the first of the month to till date, that is today's is 18th. From 1st to 18th, whatever the cost is utilized, what are the services you utilized. So I utilized this much, 0.014 cents. Okay, so what is the total forecast for current month? What would be the my current total bill by from the first of the month and at the end of the month? This is a forecast by you. By current utilization, it is going to estimate what would be the forecast total bill for the end of the month. These two things you need to note it down. Okay, I have been using different services, that's the reason I'm seeing, I'm able to see this billing. Okay, for you it is going to showcase 00. If any billing is going to come, you have to understand what that bill is related to. Okay, so whatever the implementation we are going to do, whatever the services I'm going to implement, I'm going to showcase everything. I'm going to make sure free services. That means for a practice, the free services is more than enough to get a knowledge on this particular AWS management console. No other cloud provider is going to provide this kind of facility. Once you understand with this 12 months, no need to work on 12 months, just 3 months extensive practice is more than enough. Those 3 months practice you can showcase as a 4 years of experience. Okay, the only thing is that how you are going to present, how you are going to implement the design solution, everything you can do by doing simply moving the mouse. Okay, no coding, no extensive knowledge for any component, just a logical thinking. Okay, any questions on the billing and cost management? So I'm moving to today's topic. Before starting today's topic, every day the session is going to start with recap. Whatever the components, whatever the services we discussed in a previous session, I'm just describe and then proceed with next. Last session, just introduction. We completed a free tier account registration. and we deployed one Windows instance in EC2. Why we selected EC2 as a starting of the service? It is a base for any IT requirement. Without system, we cannot install application. Without application, user is not in a position to access. Okay, so system is a minimum component in any IT infrastructure. Any action if you want to perform, system is a minimum. So that's the reason in AWS console, having these many services, there are plenty of services. Why I'm choosing compute? Why I'm choosing EC2? This is a place wherein we are going to start our journey. Okay, deploying how to deploy a system with a predefined OS configuration without having any knowledge on how to configure Windows Server, Linux server, Ubuntu, SUSE, Mac, any flavor you can deploy without having any knowledge. Pre-configured images are available. How to use those and how to log in, that's what we are going to do practice. Okay, so yesterday we already deployed one Windows instance. Today I'm going to deploy quickly the same Windows instance. How quickly I'm going to deploy, just I'm going to showcase. Okay, so I'm going to start. Today's session is all about deploying two instances. Okay, I'm going to cover some theory to understand basic advantages of cloud providers, why which cloud provider is best, and creating a Windows and Linux instance. While deploying, while discussing, I'm going to come back and explain all the components. Okay, let's proceed. So as usual, I'm going to select. So for every service, whatever the service list is available, this is a category. This is not a service. I am selecting a category. Under this category, I am selecting a EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. That is where a system can be deployed. What is EC2? EC2 is nothing but a virtual servers in the cloud. You can see what is EC2. Here, EC2 is nothing but a virtual server in the cloud, a virtual system. Okay, on the virtual system, you are going to install an operating system. It may be Windows server, it may be Linux server. You are going to deploy by choosing a desired operating system. Okay, that is what I'm selecting here, EC2. As soon as you select EC2, I'm going to click on launch. I'm going to deploy Windows quickly. So yesterday we already discussed. Just proceeding with Windows Server 001. I'm selecting Windows. Under Windows, I'm selecting 2022 base operating system. Why I selected 22? Why I'm not going 2025? I can deploy 2025, 2022, 2019. Okay, 2025 operating system free tier is available, but whatever the operating system hardware configuration, system configuration is not supported under free tier. That's the reason I'm selecting 2022 base. That is a free tier. Whatever the operating system you are going to select, make sure to avoid billing. We need to make sure free tier eligible and associated configuration. Whatever the configuration, this is also must be free. What is the instance type? Okay, the instance type must be free tier. Here free tier eligible OS configuration as well as hardware configuration. These two things must be free tier to avoid any billing. Okay, so make sure these two things are selected, whatever the free tier. If you drop down here, different hardware configuration is available. Wherever you find a free tier at the top corner, that particular configuration only you have to select. That is more than enough. Okay, no need to choose any other thing. If you choose any other configuration, your free tier is not going to applicable. So you are going to get a billing. What billing you are going to get? Whatever the service you selected, if it is not a free tier, you are going to get billing of as per this billing cycle. What is the billing cycle of EC2 instance? Per hour base. Even if you use 1 second, doesn't matter. It is going to count as a 1 hour cycle. Okay. 1 hour, 1 second also, it is going to count 2 hours. So that is a billing cycle you need to understand while working on cloud portal. Okay, what is a billing cycle? What is a ratio per hour? What is a billing? How much is a billing? For every component is associated with the billing. Okay, selected key pair. I'm selecting a key pair. I win key 18. Make. This is a Windows system, and that's the reason I selected a PEM extension. I'm going to select key, create a key pair. This is downloaded in the download folder. Let it be downloaded. And then network settings. Network settings, I'm not doing any modification. By default, as Windows system, it allows RDP application port by default from anywhere network symbol 0.0.0/0. So next, storage. In the storage section, by default, it is providing 30 GB. That is also default. I am not doing any modification. That's it. At the summary, how many systems? I am deploying one system. What operating system? Windows Server 2022. What is the hardware configuration? The configuration model is T2 micro. And the security group information, security group is nothing but a firewall configuration, that is a security at instance level. What is the instance? Instance is nothing but a, here the system, whatever the system we are going to deploy, that system we here in AWS is represent as a instance. Normally we are going to call it as a virtual system, physical system, different configuration information. In AWS, the same system will be represented as a instance. Okay. And what is the storage configuration? At the end, what is the billing? As you are part of free tier, no bill. Okay. So I'm going to click launch instance. Simply, I'm going to deploy instance is getting deployed. So whatever the service you are going to select, okay, there are two types of services: regional service and a global service. By looking at that interface, I am deploying this particular instance. Is it a regional service or a global service? Anyone? Is it a regional service or a global service? Where can I find that information without modifying the interface?
It's regional service.
How do you know that?
In the top upper, where is say United in Virginia.
This is the place you are able to see United States. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm switching over to cloud financial management, billing and cost management. See here, the same place, what it is showing here. Now it is some services are going to be a global, some services regional specific. Okay, and whatever the service you are going to configure, that particular service only available you are going to deploy in a regional, within the regional, specific to availability zone. Yesterday we discussed about what is a regional, what is availability zone. If anyone have any doubts, ask. Okay, now I'm switching back to compute. EC2 in the dashboard, I can able to see dashboard. Click on the dashboard. Instance is 1. Okay, one Windows instance are deployed. Let it be. I'm going to deploy Linux instance now. Let's see that. Launch instance again. This is a second instance I'm deploying with a different flavor, that is Linux server 001. Okay, here I can choose Amazon Linux, Ubuntu, Mac, Red Hat, SUSE, Debian, whatever the flavor you would like to get a practice. You can deploy. That is with a free. Okay, no need to pay anything. Okay, I'm choosing Amazon Linux. And what you need to make sure, whatever the system, whatever the instance you are going to deploy, make sure you are having free tier eligible at OS configuration. image, Amazon machine image. Amazon machine image, you should see that free tier eligible. Okay. At the same time, instance type is nothing but a hardware configuration. What hardware configuration you are going to, it is required, minimum requirement. One CPU, 1 GB is sufficient. That is also it is showing as a free tier. So you need to make sure OS and hardware configuration showing as a free tier. That's it. Next, instance I'm minimizing, OS application minimizing. Then what next? Key pair. What is a key pair? Key pair is a mechanism. Whatever the OS deployed, it is pre-configured. Every operating system will be configured with a login mechanism, that username and password. During the deployment, we are going to mention, as we are not installing any operating system, it is already pre-configured by AWS. They integrated with some key mechanism. That key mechanism, it is configured already with a public key. So what key pair we are going to do? We are creating a key pair that is a private key. Whatever the key pair you are going to create, this key pair is going to link with that public key. So by using these two, we are going to get a password mechanism to enter into the server. Okay. So I'm going to mention Linux key 18 May. And here for Windows, we are going to use PEM extension. For Linux, we have to use PPK extension. Okay. That's the reason I selected PPK for use with partition. Okay. PPK. So I'm going to click on create a key pair. The key pair is going to get downloaded in downloads folder. Let it be downloaded in downloads folder. PPK file downloaded. Key pair is also done. Next, network settings. I am not doing any changes in network settings. Already I created one security group. What is that security group I created? That is for Windows system. Now you can see in this network configuration, previous network, what is the difference between this previous and this one? Previous, it is allowed remote connection for RDP. Now you can see here, it is showing as a SSH. What is SSH? For Linux systems other than Windows, the remote communication is going to happen over SSH port number. That is 22 port number. Okay. So that's the reason by default, whatever the system, I'm sitting in Bangalore and deploying the services, the AWS management global infrastructure is intelligent enough. Wherever the free resources are available, it is going to connect. Even though I'm using my Bangalore internet connection, I am connected to North Virginia. Okay, I'm deploying the services in North Virginia. Okay, why it is deploying North Virginia? It is auto selection. Okay, it is going to make sure to provide a best service to you. If you are happy with this service deployment, usage, everything, if you are happy, the AWS is looking for business from you. Okay. If you are not happy during the deployment, during the practice session itself, you are not going to choose AWS service. That is a 12 months it is providing. Why? They are expecting a business. So utilize these services. Okay. You can choose, you can change any reason or without any issues. But what is different? You can choose. There is no guarantee that you are able to deploy service. Whatever the auto selection, that means the AWS is global infrastructure is going to make sure whatever the service you are planning to deploy, that service is available, ready to deploy without any errors. That is a guarantee. That is the reason AWS infrastructure is intelligent enough based on your connection. To provide best service, it is going to select a specific reason to connect to deploy your services. If you are not noting down where we are connecting, okay, it is very difficult to clean up. You forget, out of all reasons, wherever you deploy, if you forget, the billing will continue. If you are in free tier, the free tier is going to consume your free tier usage. So note it down where you connected, what service you are implementing. You have to clean up. If you are not going to clean up, you are wasting your services, free tier utilization. Okay, please make sure. Back to topic. Here already I created a security group with a default name. Here it is showing launch Visa 2. Okay, will be create a new security group called launch Visa 2. If I want to change this name, okay, I am going to click on edit option here. Edit, and I'm going to mention in the launch Visa 2, I'm going to mention Linux SG security group 001 for easy identification of what security group I'm creating. Is it related to what security group for what? Okay. So that is the only modification I did compared to the Windows one. Windows 1, I left it a default. I didn't modify anything. In second Linux deployment, I just changed the security group name to identify that security group belongs to what. Okay. Next. So you can see here, inbound security group rule by default, it is going to allow SSH, that is port number 22. It is a default selection. I didn't do anything. Okay, security group is done. Next, configure storage. For Linux, it is 8 GB sufficient. You can go with until 30 GB, no issues. 8 GB is sufficient to understand and deploying a service. The final summary is ready. One system, what OS version, and what hardware configuration, what security group, and what is the storage. I'm going to click on launch instance. Now instance deployment is done. One Windows, one Linux, simple. Is it required any knowledge? No, just navigation in the AWS management console. So simple, isn't it? Now we are going to understand some basic components about cloud infrastructure. So we already deployed instances. I'm going to cover some theory. Okay. First one, cloud types. We are talk about cloud. What is cloud exactly? Anyone having any idea what is cloud? How you are going to abbreviate? What is cloud? Anyone?
Means
Please.
we are deploying the server and access from anywhere.
Very good. Yeah. Anyone? Anyone having any other idea? We are using a service over the internet. What service? That service may be an application or a device or some other usage, storage, file or folder or a web application, anything. A service accessing over the internet is nothing but a cloud. Okay, that we just it is a layman understanding. You can define your own way. Whatever the service, accessing the service over the internet, over the public internet, in the sense public. So you are accessing a service over the internet is nothing but a cloud. Okay. Now cloud types, there are public, whatever the cloud providers, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle, whatnot. Any cloud provider is related to public cloud provider. Okay. What is private cloud? A private cloud is nothing but a addition. Traditionally, previously, we are going to call it as a data center. For every organization, there will be a data center. The data center is nothing but a specific building. Within that building, complete IT infrastructure will be placed and is going to operate. That is a data center for every organization will be having. Now that same data center later it is called as a on-premises. Later the same on-premises, now latest terminology they are using, private cloud. A private cloud is nothing but is going to manage, operate by a specific organization. Only specific organization is going to access that specific services. which are available in that particular building, data center, on premises, or private cloud. Public cloud is nothing but the same data center, the same IT infrastructure will be accessed by multiple organizations. Every public able to access. You or I can access a shared infrastructure, that is a public cloud. Private cloud is nothing but it is going to be accessible only specific organization, that is private cloud. What is hybrid? Hybrid is nothing but mixture of private and public. That means some services are within that organization, within that own data center, within that on-premises data center, whatever the name you are going to call it as, data center, on-premises, or private cloud. Some services will be there on any cloud, public cloud. That is a mixture of services related to one specific organization. So they are having services on private, services on public. That is hybrid cloud. What is community? There are different models are available in cloud types also. So I'm describing here only 4. Community. What is community? Above all 3, a specific function. Whereas a community, a set of companies which are going to use a common service. For example, a banking system. The complete banking environments, different banks are going to access CIBIL department. Every bank, they are going to access CIBIL. That means they are going to use that CIBIL related systems. Everyone is going to access. That CIBIL is going to access by each and every banking sector. That service, whatever the service is accessible by different organization, that is a community cloud. It can be anything. If a multiple organizations accessing a specific functionality, that is called as a community cloud. Okay. We know what is system, server, desktop, and all those things. Can anyone tell me differences between desktop versus server? Server versus desktop, client versus server. Any single line statement is more than enough? Anyone? A simple statement I'm going to give you. If I'm wrong, you can correct me, no issues. I'm going to enhance my skills with your questions. Please speak up,
I
okay?
think, yeah, the server is a more robust compute and everything. So the security purpose also high. The client is just like a nominal CPU, RAM kind of stuff to where we can use the browser and connect to different servers, web application, or some other way.
Exactly. Very good. Thank you. So simple statement, a desktop is forever using a laptop. Is a laptop, I can say that it is a single user interface. If I log in, no other can access my system, right? Single user interface, all are considered as a desktop operating systems. Whereas in server, multi-users able to access specific application, and it requires a robust hardware as you stated. That is correct. And more, the server is going to run 24/7, 365 days. It is going to run to serve the number of users. Whereas in desktop, you are going to use, if you run the desktop laptop 2 days, your laptop is going to hang, right? So the hardware which is going to use for server, that is server means server operating system means multi-users can access that application at a same time. Whereas in desktop, at the same time, only one user it is going to log in to perform the action. Okay. What is a client and server? Client and server, whoever looking for information, that is act as a client for every communication, for every response in the IT environment. Whoever looking the response, that act as a client, who are providing, whoever sharing the information, that is going to act as a server. Okay, client versus server. Now, cloud service models. There are different service models are there. Broadly, we are going to discuss about software as a service, platform as a service. Here the article is available. You can click on this article, you can Google it, search engine it. You are going to get a different options. So I'm going to use this link to describe about the basic components. So here you can see for every service, whatever the service you are going to deploy in AWS Management Console, these many categories available. In each category, there are specific services available. Okay. Whatever the service you are going to select, you are going to compare these three. Okay. This is a traditional IT infrastructure wherein each and every stage is going to manage by our own organization. Whereas if you deploy a service, infrastructure as a service, out of all these components, some components will be managed by who are using the service. Some services will be taken care by respective cloud provider. The gray ones is going to manage by cloud provider. Only what customer is going to access. Out of all these, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Now we deployed one Windows instance, one Linux instance, right? Two instances deployed. Can anyone tell me, is it comes under infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service? By looking at this picture.
It's infra as service.
Yes. Anyone having a different opinion? Why it is infrastructure as a service? See, you can see we deployed Windows and Linux, and Windows and Linux, I didn't maintain what networking, what storage, what server hardware, what virtualization, what operating system. Everything is pre-configured. I just selected Windows, I just selected Linux and deployed. Once that operating system is ready, on top of operating system, whatever the components I'm going to do, whatever the configuration I'm going to do, it is my own responsibility. That is service comes as an infrastructure as service. Okay. Some web applications are going to configure, DB is going to configure, and all those things. I'm going to manage data and application. That is going to come as a platform as a service, like RDS, relational database service, where database will be created. I'm going to use the database and all those things. That is platform as a service. Each and every service, is it related to infrastructure as a service, IaaS or PaaS or SaaS? You should be able to correlate. Okay, clear? This is a information about cloud types as cloud models. Okay. Next, cloud providers. What is the best cloud provider? There are AWS is there, Azure is there, GCP is there, different cloud providers are there. Why we need to choose AWS? Why AWS is industry leader in cloud providing? Why they are able to provide this 12 months free tier? That to smooth access. What are the service you are going to configure? What are the practice you are going to do? It is completely free, 750 hours per month. So that's the reason whatever the service you are going to configure, it is going to be provided with a complete robust nature, multiple options it is going to provide, and the interface, whatever the interface, how to choose a service, how to deploy a service, how to configure a service, everything, the portal is going to make you user friendly. Okay, so that's the reason AWS is industry leader. Some organizations are going to look for different options according to organization based on the uses, based on the services they are going to configure. So for example, an organization is there. That organization complete infrastructure is running on Microsoft Windows servers. Then they are going to get benefit if they deploy their services on Azure. Why? The license is going to get a little cheaper than AWS, because everything is Microsoft Windows. They are managing every service on Windows platform. They already purchased Windows license, Windows partnership, Microsoft partnership, everything. So for them, Azure provider, cloud provider is going to be a best solution compared to AWS. So it best a cloud provider is going to select based on the organization requirement. Okay, you have to understand. So every organization, they are deploying their services across the cloud platform. The ultimate goal is wherever they are getting best service. The ultimate goal is wherever they are getting best service, best price. Okay, so the based on that, the organization is going to choose different cloud providers. So this is cloud providers. Cloud advantages. I'm going to talk about this particular availability, scalability, pay-as-you-go model, security, wherever, whenever it is going to come into picture. Yesterday's session, we already discussed about AWS global infrastructure and what is the reasons, what is the availability zones, we already discussed, isn't it? So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to our two systems which we deployed. Okay. So instances, how many instances deployed? Two instances. One is Windows, one is Linux. So first of all, for every system, I am going to collect Windows, Linux. Okay. What is required? First, IP address or hostname, right? Then username. Next, password. After that, the tool to connect remotely, right? Tool to connect remotely. This is for Windows. Same thing is going to applicable for Linux as well, right? Linux also same thing. Now I'm going to collect the details. So what I'm going to do, I'm not getting any detail space here. I'm not getting any detail space here. So I'm going to select Windows. As soon as I select the checkbox, I'm getting, there is an IP address, public IP, private IP. We already discussed what IP to be collected. I'm selecting public IP as we are using the service. This service is deployed in North Virginia. I'm sitting in Bangalore, India. So I'm accessing the service remotely. If you are part of in that respective network, then you can use private IP address. So I'm accessing the service over the internet. That is what? This is a cloud service. So I copied this IP information to connect my Windows instance. What is it? Control V, IP address, username, password, tool. What is a tool? I am going to use RDP, remote desktop connection. And for Linux, I'm going to collect the details. Okay, let me connect Windows first of all. See, as soon as I'm removing the checkbox.
Please, could you clarify this part again? Private and public, I think.
Okay.
One other question, you mentioned it that security group is not necessary to be not create. Didn't name it for the Windows server for the security group. Why so like that? Do you mean that security group is not required for Windows instances?
No, 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 no. Every instance, a network component is by default. Okay. In this Windows instance, I'm going to click on launch instance again. I'm selecting Windows. I selected Windows. I'm not mentioning name for time being. Just I'm going to select directly to security group. For every instance deployment, It is maybe Windows or whatever it may be. Okay. See here, I'm selecting Windows. In OS configuration, as soon as OS configuration is selected Windows, go to that network. One second. Keep a network. In the network, you can see this RD. For every instant, security group is nothing but a firewall configuration for that particular instance. Security group is a firewall. What is a firewall? Firewall is nothing but network packet. We are going to discuss about network packets and all those things in virtual private cloud. Okay, in virtual private cloud, I'm going to explain OSI model, what is a network packet, what is IP address and everything. Okay, here for every instance, network settings, without network settings, a system, how it is going to communicate. Okay, for every instance, network setting is default. For Windows, what I said is, I didn't modify the configuration. That's what I said. I didn't change the name of the security group. Okay, because if I create a same security group here, it is going to create with a launch wizard 1. It is already created for Windows. For Linux deployment, I change the name to identify this security group is related to what instance. That's the reason I click on edit and change to launch wizard 2 to Linux SG001. For Windows, I didn't rename. It is just Linux launch wizard 1 only. Clear?
Got you.
Yeah. There was another question. What is that? Did I clarify? Why? What is that other question? Before security group, there was a question. Okay.
He was asking you about the host name and how the connectivity kind of stuff.
Okay, IP address. He asked about public IP
Yes,
and private
yes,
IP.
I am Abir. I'm just posting that.
Okay.
That we understand private.
Okay. See here. For every system, a network component is by default. That is a place where a system can establish communication from source to destination, a client and server. Whatever the communication is going to establish in that particular establishment, the network, without network connectivity, there is no communication. So network communication is a default. In that network communication, especially when we're working on a cloud, it will be having two components, two network components. One is public IP address and private IP address. By default, every component will be configured with a private IP address. This is a private IP address. Why? The private IP address is nothing but whatever the organization. For example, if you are connecting to your organization, you are going to get a IP address on your laptop, one IP. You can go and check IP config by opening command prompt, IP config. You are going to get an IP address. That IP address is not accessible from outside. Whereas in public IP, this public IP is accessible from anywhere. Okay. The IP address which can be accessible from anywhere is nothing but a public IP. The IP address which can be accessible within the own specific boundary, that is organization or any region, that is going to consider as a private IP. Okay, we are going to talk about more on this VPC network component, that is virtual private cloud. Okay, I'm going to provide a complete detailed information what IP address is going to form. Without having knowledge on network, you are able to understand each and every component in virtual private cloud concept. Okay, just here understand two IPs for every service in a cloud is going to get assigned two IPs. One private IP, that private IP is going to establish internal communication. The public IP, without public IP, I am not in a position. I am sitting outside of the organization. Where, what is this organization? I am deploying a service in North Virginia. I am sitting in Bangalore. How can I connect? That requires communication from my client system. I am connecting to AWS, that is a server that is going to establish communication from my IP over public service. That is what cloud service. Accessing a service over the public, over the internet. That is a cloud. So without public IP, I cannot access. For example, you are opening google.com or gmail.com. You are accessing mail, you are searching in a search engine. Whatever the google.com, whatever the search engine, you are going to, that name will be converted as a public IP. Okay, then it is going to transfer the packet and reach the destination, and you are going to get response back. This entire communication, entire website communication is going to run over the public IP information, public IP address. Okay, clear?
Okay, sir. Clear. Thank you.
So
I have a question.
yes, please.
Yeah, so yesterday when you you connected to the I think you went to remote desktop connection on the desktop and you got the IP address and connected. So the question I have is it possible to, when you have this information, the IP address, to connect to the server or the instance without logging onto the console?
Without log into the console, for example, the RDP is nothing but a system to access remote control to perform certain action. It is going to use by admin. Okay, this is RDP. For example, on the same system, this is a Windows system. You are configuring a web application, website information, or specific application. So on your mobile, you are installing an application, and you are able to use that application in the sense how that application is going to work. The backend infrastructure somewhere will be configured. By using the client application, you are accessing without logging to the console. Okay, so it is all based on what kind of function you are going to do. For every function, as it may be application or it may be service, whatever it may be, without system, that access is not possible. In this session, in this point, I am using only allowing RDP. RDP means remote connection to a system. That is RDP. That is the reason I'm using RDP, remote desktop connection. It is a client function, client application to connect Windows system. Okay, clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah. So I'm collecting for Windows system. As soon as I'm going to select, I'm having an option of connect option. If I'm removing the checkbox, the connect option is going to grayed out. You can see here, the connection option is grayed out. So I'm selecting checkbox. As soon as I select checkbox, connect option is enabled. In this, there are three options are available: session manager, RDP client, EC2 serial console. So I am selecting RDP client. And RDP client, what is the username? I'm going to copy the username. I'm going to mention the username here. And password, how to get the password? Here, get password option is available here. I'm going to click on get password. As soon as get password, it is asking upload a private key to decrypt the password. I'm going to click on upload private key, and whatever the file created during the Windows instance deployment, I created a file called WinKey 18th May. I have to select the same file. Without this file, I am not in a position to decrypt the password. This is a private file. This private key is going to integrate, match with the public key which is already available by AWS. It is going to compare and it is going to give you an option, decrypt the password. I'm going to select decrypt the password at the bottom, and I can see the password here. Okay, the password is collected. This is a password. I'm going to use RDP tool. RDP tool is default on every system, even Linux desktop systems also. Every remote desktop is a connection, RDC. It is a common protocol. You can have the client. I'm going to use this IP or name, public DNS name. We are going to understand what is a DNS and later topics. That is Route 53 is a DNS service in AWS cloud. We are going to understand, no worries. Everything we are going to understand without having a deep knowledge. That is a great feature which is available in cloud. You no need to worry about live environment. Everything in your hands. You should have a enthusiasm to learn the components. If you are lazy enough, you are not going to get expertise. Everything on fingertips. Yes, please.
Um, can this password, after decrypting it, can it be changed to something simpler where you can memorize and just input it while you
Yes,
want to?
very good point. Yes, we can change the password as soon as generally in every organization, they are not going to use the deployment password. As per organization standard, they are going to set a common password for every system to memorize, to store somewhere, or they are going to integrate with some password mechanism too. So the admin password keep on change and users will be having their own credentials. Okay, so I'm going to change the password now. Okay, we can change the password to in a easy way without depending on key. Once you until login only, we need that key, whatever the key we generated. Once we log in, we are able to modify the user management. You can create a different user. We can reset the password as per your wish. Once that is done, you just need an IP address. You just need an IP address to connect. As user already you are going to create, and whatever the password you are going to set, there is a necessity to get the password to generate this password, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to reset now. So here Windows system, I'm going to go to computer management. You can go to right click on the disk and I'm going to go to computer management, wherein I'm going to change the password. This is a Windows system. How easily we connected with just one CPU, 1 GB memory. I am accessing Windows 2022 server over remotely. This particular system deployed in North Virginia. How easily we are deploying. See here, I'm setting the password. I'm not going to use. I'm going to set welcome@123. Yes, the password has been set. You can create a user, your own user. I'm going to create Srinivas 001 and I'm going to set same password. I'm removing the checkbox. These all the things comes under Windows administration. You can practice, you can do all those things. I'm showing how to manage things. You can install the services components. One important thing, please be attention. As you are able to connect this system, you are able to access internet on this system. You are able to access internet on this system. Never ever try to download any component. Okay, this system, if you download any other component like any movie or anything, okay, it is a per minute network download charges, upload charges are going to applicable. So don't download any components on this particular instances. It is not a free. So please make sure don't use the network. You can configure the service, you can do some administrative related activities, you can configure service and you can test all those things, but never use any component on this particular component. Yeah, so I'm going to use back to this. I'm adding the user, whatever the user I created, into administrator group to access with the Srinivas 001. Is it? Check names. This is a Windows administrator related, no need to worry about. Our action is how to create how to access the system remotely. That is the only component which you are accessing now. Srinivas user 001. Okay. So now I can log in without depending upon that administrator connect option, RDP and get password. No, I can connect directly without having different information. I'm going to remove this information. I don't need this information. Just IP is enough. I'm going to log off. I created users. So Linux administration also can be done the same way by doing users can be added and all those things. Okay. Okay. Windows instance connected. I changed the password and now I'm not using any password. Let it be. No problem. Now coming to the Linux. How to connect Linux? I'm going to collect same information. Let me go back. Instances. And I'm going to select Linux. Okay. Now I'm going to collect public IP. I'm going to place public IP. That is fine. Now username and password. What is a tool to connect Linux system? We are going to use the tool called putty or putty, the pronunciation as per your wish. Okay, someone is going to call it as a putty, someone is going to call it as a putty. It's your wish, no issues. Now username and password, how to get username and password. I selected a Linux system. I have an option of connect option, wherein a different options came into here in this particular window. Previous Windows system, I have only session manager, SSH client, and EC2 serial console. Now here in Windows system, it is a RDP client. Now for Linux system, it is a SSH client. In addition to these three, I have a different option that is EC2 instance connect. What is this? This particular provision is going to gives you to connect without any key pair. Without key pair, I cannot connect anything. But for Linux instance, simply I can select EC2 instance connect. It is going to use the browser window to establish connect. No need to enter any username and password. Directly, I'm able to access the system without anything. So it is going to use browser and it is going to connect automatically without entering anything. The password, username, everything it is going to take from this particular session. So I'm in a position to use sudo su. I can execute the commands, whatever the m update -y. So to install the latest patches and all those things. This is a automatic connection, browser based connection that doesn't require any username and password. Okay, this is a browser based connector. Okay, I'm going
Hello,
to,
Srinivas.
yes, please.
I'm using the Linux and I want to download any Tomcat or any other component. It is chargeable or is it free?
Yes. That's what I'm telling. We are
Yeah.
going to configure web server on Linux to showcase the security group concept. So that's what I told you in just before. This particular system, as it is accessible by public IP, each and every system by default internet is enabled. So whatever the packet you are going to download, make sure it is a small download content. If it is a GBs, per GB per minute charges will be there. Whatever the bandwidth charges, you have to look at that pricing model. That charges are not free. Okay, whatever the download you can, for example, you are planning to install Tomcat, configure the Tomcat. If you can find that Tomcat is already application is available, template is already available, you no need to download. You can search Amazon machine image. There are multiple application with the OS configurations. Whatever the Tomcat version you are looking for, search for that AMI, Amazon machine image. If that is not available, you can download. But whatever the component you are going to download, that is not free. It must be below GBs or MBs, so it is not going to be chargeable. But over the GB, per GB per minute charges will be there. That is not free. Okay.
Okay.
So
So-
when you're saying accessing from the browser, it should be like HTTP protocol, right? Like it's not with SSH.
Which one? This particular Linux instance, I'm going to click on connect. And if I use EC2 instance connect, it is
Yeah.
going to use internal. Whatever the security group I'm using, that security group is related to over the public communication. That public communication is restricted only SSH. Your point is good. As browser is going to use port number 80, we configured SSH communication only, allowing communication, how it is able to access. Where I am in? I am into AWS console. Within that AWS interface. That AWS interface is providing a feature EC2 instance connect. It is not going to ask username. It is not going to ask password. Everything accessible by using same interface. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to click on SSH client to get the password and user. To my surprise, there is no get password option. For Windows, we have a get password option. Here, for every Linux based instance, username is by default EC2-user. EC2-user. You can mention EC2-user. Okay. What is the password? There is no password available here. How to get? That password mechanism is going to work in a different way to connect SSH communication over the PuTTY. So the PuTTY is a client tool to connect Linux systems remotely. So if your system is not having, what you can do on your local system, not download on your official systems. Okay, on official systems, you need to take care your organization policies. Don't download on your official systems. Okay, I'm telling PuTTY. You will be having an option PuTTY download from the putty.org. Download PuTTY, a simple tool you can download, but take permission from your organization if this particular tool is not installed on your office laptop. Okay, and one more thing. In Office network, you are not able to access a Linux instance or Windows instance. So if you are practicing on Office laptop as well as you are into Office network, please try to switch over to mobile hotspot to practice on this particular sessions. Okay. I'm downloading, as I'm using Windows 64-bit, I'm downloading, clicking on this particular 64-bit x86. I'm going to download to downloads folder. It is so simple file. Just click on that downloaded file. It is going to install PuTTY. As it is, I already downloaded and installed. It is asking repair. Otherwise, it is going to next. Within few clicks, it is going to install PuTTY. Okay. Once PuTTY installation is done, you can go to search engine and type PuTTY. You have this PuTTY app. Please pay attention here. This is the IP address. I'm going to mention the IP address. And I know only username EC2-user. Now I need to provide a password mechanism. For that password mechanism, I'm using C here in this particular configuration file, connections, under connections, select SSH. For that SSH, there is a plus mark is available, expand that Under SSH, you will find authorization, AUTH, expand authorization, whereas in you will find credentials. In this particular credentials, you are in a position to attach PPK file which you already downloaded during the deployment. So I'm going to click on private key file authentication. Click on browse. Whatever the key pair you downloaded for Linux instance, I'm selecting that file, PPK extension, open, click on open. Yes, it is going to connect. I'm increasing the font size, change settings, appearance, change the font size to 18. What is the username? EC2-user. Just enter. It is going to take the password from that private key which we attach to the PuTTY configuration file. I'm going to showcase again. Open the PuTTY configuration. Just mention the IP information from whatever you connected, public IP information. Then connection. Under connection, you will find SSH. Expand SSH. Under SSH, you will find authorization. Under authorization, you are going to expand. Once you expand, you will find credential. Okay, you are going to attach the file here and click on open. That's it. You are going to log in. By mentioning EC2 user, you haven't entered any password, but it is authenticated by using that PPK file. Now I am able to do whatever I want. You can create users. I am not a Linux background, so I'm not aware. I can practice. No one is going to limit. So if you want, you can practice by going to YouTube channels. Even Logic Labs Technology is providing RHEL training sessions, separate training modules. If you want to Linux administration, you can nominate. So this is a way. Here I am providing information how to deploy, how to configure the service. Okay, this is a basic Windows and Linux instances. Okay, now you can see for a different application, you no need to download anything. Here for every instance, you just click on instance. There are different tools already configured. Now entire organization, entire IT environment is running on pre-configured images. Pre-configured images. You will be having a different application images. You can see here, browse more AMIs. You have an option. You have an option, browse more AMIs. Here it is showing only a quick view. When you click on browse more AMIs, okay, I'm going to clear all these things and click on browse more AMIs. Whatever the application you are looking for example, Tomcat by previous information. For example, here see 6,586 templates are available. Tomcat. Whatever the Tomcat engine is available, you are able to get list here. Okay, just Tomcat, whatever the list you are able to see, you are going to get list. According to that, you can deploy, select that, and then deploy. Okay, just enter the Tomcat, whatever the instance. See here, Tomcat on Ubuntu, Apache Tomcat server on Windows 2019, Tomcat server on Ubuntu, different versions. You no need to download. Once you select this particular select particular OS predefined configuration, you will able to see that what is the charges, hourly charges. Okay, you are happy. Okay, you can subscribe and use it. That's it. As simple as that. It is not a free. You can see here it is showing as a free tier. This is a free tier. Why to download again for internet charges and all those things? And that you can deploy this instance and use it for free tier. And whatever the practice you are going to do, you do it. Okay, so This AWS Management Console is providing excellent features you can practice. Even though it is going to charge, you can understand what is a charging model. Not even 2 rupees. Some services, not even 2 rupees. What you are going to get for 2 rupees? For example, 100 rupees. Take it as 100 rupees. What you are going to get 100 rupees, you are getting excellent opportunity to enhance your skills. That is a beauty of this particular cloud provider. You no need to say that I didn't get an option to work on live environment. You can create your live environment here. Who is going to stop you? You should have an intention to learn. That is the only key parameter. You can enhance your skills to the next level with this cloud technologies. You no need to look for system. You no need to look for services, license cost, nothing. Everything is available. A bundle package. And what is the hourly charges? Just understand hourly charges. If it is happy for you, use it, configure it, and delete it. That's it. Pay as you go model. One of the cloud biggest advantage is pay as you go model. You no need to pay any upfront cost. You already enrolled with your credit card. Whatever the billing it is going to generate, make sure no auto debit is allowed. You have to configure that in your account information. Whatever the credit card you are going to enter, make sure it is not going to enable auto debit option. For every bill, you have to authorize. Even 2 rupees also, you are going to authorize, you are going to enter OTP, then only the amount will be deducted from your credit card. So simple, so transparent, no issues at all. It is not going to misuse. It is only you have to use the service in appropriate manner. That's it. Okay.
Hi, Srinivas.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I have a query. Like, how do you know in which scenario when to use a Linux application and when to use Windows application, or which instance we need to use? So, can you please just give a brief? So, actually, I just
Very
want to
good
know the
part.
scenario. How if an interviewer asks me, then how could I explain it?
Very good question. Okay. Users. Users are nothing but we. For example, you have a mobile, I have a mobile, and I would like to, or you would like to book a flight ticket. Okay, what you are going to do? You are going to download an app, isn't it? To book the flight ticket.
Right.
So that application, who is going to develop? The developers are going to design that application, how to log in, how to provide interface and all those things. Application team is going to configure, develop that application interface, right? That application is going to come into picture. That application designers are going to design that application. While designing that application, they are going to understand what is the pre-requirements to run that application. Where the client application, for applicant to client run the client application, is it required Android device, Apple device, or any other device? Similar way, whenever a client application is going to design, that client application need to connect server. The server application, again, pre-requirements. Is it going to run on Windows or is it going to run on Linux? If it is running on Windows or Linux, what OS version it is going to be? Definitely it is going to be multi-users. Definitely I need to have a server, should be server operating system. It may be Windows or Linux. Who is going to design? The application developers are going to design that application capabilities. This application is going to work on specific operating system version without any issues. Then the OS is going to come into picture. OS version details. Once OS version details are available, then it is going to come to a specific administrator, it is Linux administrator or Windows administrator. That OS to run according to application, according to number of users, system configuration is going to come into picture. System configuration like how much CPU, how much RAM, how much storage, how much network bandwidth. This is a system configuration. How the system configuration, without this system, I cannot install operating system as per application requirement. Without operating system, that application team is not able to configure, install that application on the server. Without installing application server configuration, users are not able to use the client application. This is for every IT environment, the cycle, the hierarchy, the communication mechanism is going to work. In this mechanism, what kind protocol is going to allow from application client to server application? The security, who is going to access authentication mechanism, the security, cyber security, what port to be allowed, who users to be connect, everything is going to design the solution. So it is a framework. Everything is going to depend upon users, and for to satisfy users, what is the way the application is going to deploy and configure, according that subsequent layers are going to build up. Is it clear?
Yeah, it's little bit, but how do I calculate how many I want to know how do I calculate how much RAM or how much storage I need to run an application?
Okay. What mobile you are using?
Yeah, it's Google Pixel.
Okay. How many applications you are using?
Yeah, I think more than 30.
Each application, what is the usage? For example, on my desktop, I am opening this particular task manager. Okay, for every device, for every laptop, whatever the operating system, each and every application usage will be there here. Okay, for example, I am accessing one website. Okay, for every website, it is going to associate number of CPU cycles requirement, number of memory requirement, and storage requirement, network bandwidth. For example, in this particular scenario, how the system configuration is going to come into picture, how much CPU, how much RAM, how much storage, how much network bandwidth. These factors are going to depend upon how many users are you are going to connect. If it is 100 users, you are going to have certain configuration, because each user session will be having some CPU consumption, some memory consumption, some storage consumption. According to user proportionate, I should have the CPU come. For example, you might notice the website is down, the website is crash. Why? That website is designed for 100 users. All of a sudden, that 100 users become 150 or 200 users. The system is deployed and maintained to manage only 100 users. As soon as number of users increases, for each user will be associated with some CPU cycle, some memory consumption. When there is no option, it is not able to provide resources, then system is going to crash. Okay, so how the system configuration is going to come into picture? For these many users, application designer, application developer is going to mention that this system configuration is required to support these many users. Okay, according that system
Okay,
design is
yeah.
going to come into picture.
Okay, got it.
Okay, very
Hi,
good.
Srinivas.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah, Srinivas, actually, well, you see, I have one doubt. If I'm creating one IP Linux server, okay, I'm downloading the PIM key, and while connecting through PIM, that putty, every time we need to import that PIM key, or is one time?
Okay, very good point. For example, you are using putty session. Okay, so your session connected, establishing communication to the server. Now your question is, do I need to configure every time? Yes, you need to mention every time. For example, okay, you connected with using the key pair. Okay, whatever the key mechanism you are using, you connected with the key mechanism.
Okay.
Once you connected, you are into the server now. Okay, you are
Okay.
able to create a users. You are able to set the password. For that user, you are able to provide the privileges. Okay,
Okay.
once you set that configuration, certificate and everything, there is
Okay.
no necessity to assign PPK file again. Directly
Okay.
you can connect, put your open putty in a terminal session, in login information, directly you can mention the sessions, everything.
Okay. What do you mean to say? Once created this server, after that we need to create one user. In that user, we need to provide that privileges with that key. Everything we need to import, and we have to provide the privileges for that user.
Yes, you can create it. I connected to this system now. I'm at the hash prompt.
Mm.
I'm into having a root privileges. I can create a user, right? Once user
Yeah.
creation, for that user, if you provide a root privileges, you can provide by executing certain commands in Linux administration, you can provide root privileges. Okay, there is a
Okay.
small modification in that uh, key mechanisms. Without key pair, directly with the password, how to log in, that mechanism you need to enable. Then automatically by using putty session, directly you can mention IP address without any connection system PPK attachment. Directly you can, once that all the configuration for that specific user is done, okay, you can mention IP and click on open. That's it. You wherein you can enter a username. Automatically once you enter username, whatever username you created, it is going to prompt for enter password.
Okay. Got it. Got it. And after that, I know. I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So
Thank you.
if you are not sure, you are in a position to explore. You, for example, I am a not a Linux background. I don't know how to create a user. So what I'm going to do? The system is free. Practice is available. How to create a user
Yeah. Yeah.
in Linux? So simple. How to enable without a key pair? So this is a knowledge explorer. System is available. You can practice according to organization requirement. You can mimic the environment, production environment here, and you can practice what are the issues it may be. You can configure the services. You can enable specific services. On Windows, you can create Active Directory. You can install DNS service. Whatnot. You can practice everything. Systems are available with respect to operating systems. What features are available? You can explore. How to change the IP configuration. If the system is not connecting, okay, delete it and create it again. Whatnot. Okay. So you are having 750 hours free. How many hours I spend now? 2 instances deployed. I spent on only 2 hours, right? Out of 750
Yeah.
hours, I spend only 2 hours today. Even I completely 2 hours for every day, also 30 into 2, I'm going to get only 60. 750 hours free. How extensively you are practicing, how you are going to deploying different servers and establishing communication, it's up to you. Okay. So this is
Okay.
all about deployment, Linux instance and Windows instance. Okay, any questions on Linux and deployment? So whatever the component, for example, now security groups, I'm going to go to services, compute, EC2. Now I'm going to go to dashboard under EC2. You can see that before log off, whatever the actions performed, all those things you need to note it down. Okay, did I refer this particular note file to deploy these services? Everything step by step instructions are there. What is a key pair? What is a PEM file? What is a P pair? What is a putty connection? How to connect putty connection? Did I refer to this notes file? This kind of practice you need to achieve. When can you achieve? Multiple times. If you deploy, multiple times you connect. First 1 or 2 or 3 sessions, you have to refer the record or note file. Fourth time onwards, without referring anything, you should be able to deploy. That navigation practice in interview also, it is going to ask the navigation. How do you deploy? Where to go? In the services, where to go? So I'm going to directly compute and directly go to EC2. If I'm not practicing, what you are going to do? Click on services, you are going to search where is EC2. I'm going to select one by one. I'm going to search all those places. Out of all these services, why I started compute and only I selected EC2? I know where to start. Okay. So integration, understanding the navigation, where to go, where to isolate. For every issue, there is an isolation mechanism. Understanding the deployment process in a proper sequence, then you are able to isolate if any issue comes in picture. We are going to understand each and everything. Okay. Okay. Did we cover today's agenda? Let me go through that. We discussed about advantages of cloud providers, why AWS best, Windows Linux instance, concept of Windows Linux instance, understand key pair for Windows and Linux. For Windows, we deployed PEM extension. For Linux, we selected a PPK extension, that is a key mechanism to get or to work with the password. Okay. Remote tools to connect Windows. For Windows, it is a remote desktop client. Whereas for Linux, we downloaded PuTTY terminal. This is a terminal client, we can say. So most of organizations are going to use PuTTY terminal. There are different terminals also available to establish remote connection. Okay. That Windows is going to use RDP. That RDP port number is, if you want, you can look at that. For Linux, it is a port application is SSH protocol, and it is going to use port number 22. And for Windows, RDP is going to use 3385. Okay. So terminal client we downloaded. For Linux, PuTTY terminal we configured. Understand PuTTY and configure PuTTY to connect a Linux instance. We already shown you. And how to connect without a key pair. We already selected and connected without key pair. So we covered today's agenda. So this, as it is a final session of free sessions, if you are happy with this training sessions, we are going to cover complete the most important thing in this particular session. You are going to understand the networking component very aggressively. So I'm going to showcase one diagram wherein you are going to deploy that same diagram by understanding this component. This is a previous batch. So this is a diagram we are going to deploy by understanding the basic concepts of VPC. This entire connection, how these clients are going to connect, how the subnets are going to create, what is a public subnet, private subnet, what is internet gateway. So IP addresses we are going to discuss, what is a private IP address range, public address range, what is a application port numbers, what is a NAT gateway, many components without having any deep understanding of network component. Okay. Similar way, we are going to understand storage component S3, simple storage service, wherein we are going to work with object storage. Okay, different components of bucket creation, file upload, file download, accessing the object, permission setting, everything we are going to understand. Okay, everything we are going to discuss. So if you are happy to continue in this training, please log on to www.logiclabstech.com, wherein you will find payment link. This payment link information here, it is available only for today, because this is under upcoming batches. For if you missing the payment information, you simply please coordinate with the admin team. Just send a mail. As this session is available on YouTube for lifetime, you can go to support@Logic Labs, send a mail by mentioning the batch number, or you can send a message to these two numbers are available on WhatsApp community, so they are able to assist you. Okay, so you will be part of, and you are going to get a complete information to payment link and anything. So
Sir, this batch is 413, right?
Sorry,
413, this batch.
413, yes.
Oh.
So please make sure while making a payment, so it is very much important as soon as you click on any payment link, because different batches, different payment links they are going to upload by admin team. As soon as you are going to click on payment link, please make sure this is a current batch. I have been providing different batch virtualization as well as AWS. Okay, so make sure you are able to look at that batch information 413 and the trainer name Srinivas, that is myself, and you can click on payment link here. This is a Mr. Srinivas, batch number 413, and then you can make the payment. Okay, if you find any difficulties in complete the payment transaction, if any find difficulties, you can coordinate with the support team. Hope you are happy with this training module. Any questions before closing for today's session? So before closing, what we need to do?
Clean
What
up
we
all
need
the
to
Terminate
do
all
instance.
before-
instances.
That is very, very, very important. Every session you will find at the end of this particular file, you will find a cleanup end of practice. Okay, click on services, choose compute, choose EC2, click on instances running, select both instances, click on instance state, terminate. I'm doing the same thing now. Dashboard, click on instances running. There are two instances, selecting both instances, click on instance state and terminate. Yes, terminate. Once the termination is done, what next? Select security groups, delete except default one. Okay, this security group can be deleted once instances both are going to showcase as a terminated. Here it is going to showcase as a shutting down. Okay, I'm going to go back to the dashboard. This
Hello.
instance, yes, please.
Sorry. I'm not terminating the instances. Only I'm stop the instances. This causes the price.
Yes, exactly. Very good point. What is the differences between stop and termination? Termination in the sense you are completely deleting all the components, whereas in stop, only you are stopping compute, memory and CPU. How about storage? You are using 30 GB storage for Windows, 8 GB for Linux, right? That storage
Right.
is there. Even if you are stopping, it is going to count as every hour. That is going to
Okay.
count for instance. So what you need to do,
Okay.
if it is stop, you are going to go here instances, and you are going to see that it is stop here, stopped.
Yeah.
You have to select both and click on instant state terminate. Okay, you should show as a terminated. Then only it is not going to consider any billing. Okay.
Okay.
Now come to here, it is showing 00 key pairs. There are two. I'm going to select both key pairs, action, delete. Then go back to dashboard and then security group. What it is mentioned in the notes, accept default one, remaining two to be deleted. Okay, refresh once. Here Linux and then this one, action, delete security group. I have to mention delete. This is done. Next, go to dashboard. Everything is anything pending. 0001. This is a default, and here 000. Perfect. Here only one is showing two. I'm going to click on instances where it is showing two. I need to make sure it is showing as a terminated. These entries will be disappear after some time. No need to worry about. Okay, so leave it. Make sure these are showing as a terminated. That's it. You are done with our cleanup activity. No billing. no utilization of your free tier services. Hope you enjoy the session. See you on next session. We are going to discuss about more. Okay. Thank you all your participation. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Sir,
Yes,
one
please.
minute, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Sir, yesterday we entered credit card details. Is it
Okay.
mandatory we need to enter credit card, or we can use debit card also for creating AWS user?
No, it is going to accept only credit card. So try to enter debit card. If it is not accepting as per the rules, that AWS management interface accepting only credit card details.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And it should be on credit card, like email ID should be, phone number and email ID is there. So if we are using credit card, so three fields are same.
What 3 fields?
Sir, means that particular mobile number will be linked with that particular credit card, or we can use some other credit card details like
Okay,
other.
okay. Got it. Here, the important thing, registration process, mail ID. Okay, that is, it is not necessary to link with the same mobile number. Okay, that is first thing. You should have a valid email ID. That is first. Second, you should have a mobile
Yes.
number to get a message. Whatever the credit card you are going
Yes.
to enter, you can use your parents or your friends. It is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
necessary whatever the mail ID, whatever the mobile number you are going to use, it is not necessary to link with the credit card. Okay.
Yes, got. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay then. Thank you all. Have a great day. See you on next session.
Thank you.
Bye.
Sorry, Srinivas,
Yes, please.
can I ask one last question? Sorry for holding you.
No problem.
So
No problem.
the same exit process we need to follow for all the services?
For service to service, delete process will be different. While discussing about each and every service, what are the components we need to delete, which one we need to do first, and next, what next, everything we are going to follow sequence. It is service to services differs.
Okay.
But we are going to understand, no worries. Whatever the way we are going to configure, we are going to follow reverse engineering. Okay, step by step. You are going to get a warning if it is not allowing to delete. What is restricting to not to delete. So first you need to complete that particular process, then you can delete. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, please? Okay then. See you on next session. Thank you.